Yeah.
Shalom, Israel. Shalom, shalom, brother Naquan.
Shalom, shalom, brother. Right.
Coming back at you with another Monday Night Fire. Giving, of course, all honor and glory to Yahweh. By Shema Mashiach Malak Yahushai. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David. That's been in this truth for decades and decades. Patiently waiting for the second coming of Yahushai. A hearty shalom to the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there in the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnify the name of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, magnify the ministry, and presenting their body as a living sacrifice. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there on the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're studying, they're fasting, they're being diligent, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, and abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the sisters out there, the Akwath out there, holding it down in the households, reverencing their husbands, being submissive, being diligent, and moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom. Lord willing, everybody's on fire for the Lord in the last days, reading, praying, fasting, being diligent, and doing everything they can do to magnify the name of the Lord.
And we back at it. Volume 3, Second Esdras and the End of Days. So if you missed the previous two installments, those live streams are up. We've covered Second Esdras, the first chapter. We've covered Second Esdras, the second chapter. And we're going to see how far maybe we can get to the third or fourth chapter. We want to cover the entire book of Second Esdras as we live and experience the downfall of Babylon the Great, man. You have massive shootings. You have Edomites going into Walmarts, killing Jake wholesale, man. Apologizing to Edomites and killing Jakes by the dozens, man. You got Esau going into churches, and the Most High is showing you the wrath of the so-called white man and the dragon whose horns are being shown to you, man. You have Finland and Sweden. They're joining NATO. Russia said, if you join NATO, we'll bomb you with an ICBM missile. So you have Russia ready to bomb them. You had a blood moon last night. Right? You have all hell breaking loose on the earth, man. Things are speeding up and things are happening. And if you're not paying attention and you get caught up in the cares of the world, you're going to be caught out there. I mean, you're going to have to deal with it, man. That's why we have to speak on the end of days to charge our people. Let me get that real quick, King Salaki, and Luke 21. To charge you, right? This is St. Luke chapter 21 and verse 14. It reads, Salaki, Luke 21 and 34. It reads, and take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. And you always got to check yourself, man. Right? You always have to sit there and say, am I getting too caught up in the world? Right? Let me fall back a little bit. Hold on, man. I'm giving too much strength into my job. I'm giving too much strength into looking for starting a business or a career change or my college education or my house or whatever, man. My family. Sometimes you got to take that step back and say, how far have I come, man? How deep am I in this world, man? That's why it says, and take heed to yourself, meaning check yourself. That's what Jake said. You better check yourself. Slow your roll, pump your brakes, man. Lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting. Surfeiting is doing things in excess, right? Now you're watching all of the NBA finals, right? You're just binge watching TV. And then you're binge watching movies for 3 hours. And now you're spending all this time with your coworkers and you're looking up cars and you barely read because you're trying to find a new car and you're looking up new houses and you haven't fasted in 4 months, man. Because you're getting too caught up in the world and the cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. For as a snare shall it come on all of them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. So you got to watch and pray that you don't get caught up in this madness and that you're able to stand and see the second return of Yahushua with a clear, sober mind. You got it.
I want to bring out James chapter 4 and verse 4. It says, ye adulterous and adulteress, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God. So if you friendshipping in this world, you understand, you indulging in all the lust and all of the different things and the evilness thereof, you're going to get caught up in it, man. It's only a matter of time before that one situation is brought forth to you and you get sifted away, man. This is not a game. You don't want to entertain a lust of this world because it's going to pull you in it. Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God, man. And there's certain friends, somebody may have that they may talk to once in a blue moon or once a month, but nevertheless, they're friends. You don't want to occasionally do things with this world, with the lust thereof, and think that there's nothing wrong with it. Or it's just a vacation, or it's this is just that. And brother, you're flirting with death, man. The Lord said, do ye think that the scripture saith in vain, the spirit that dwelleth in us lusteth to envy, man. So it's a constant war with your flesh, man. You understand, in the spirit. And if you don't stay on fire, your flesh is going to override and that spirit is going to get quenched and go out, man. If it's not burning constantly on fire. Every single day you battling in the flesh, man. And if brothers don't hold themselves accountable for every single thing that they do, they're going to be overtaken in this thing. So you got to make sure that without no cares of this world, your family, your job. You leave all of those things and put it in the hands of the Lord, man. Because if you don't, you're going to get sifted out this thing.
Hey, the Lord said, quench not the spirit, man, and despise not prophesying. I mean, hey, get into this word, teach, man. Don't let the spiritual demon Satan take out that fire extinguisher and just blow you out the way, man. Because once your fire is gone, you can't get it back. There's times when you got with the spirit and you catch your zeal, but once your candlestick is blown and your Holy Spirit is taken away from you, that's something that you can't get back. You can find your keys and you can find your wallet, right? Or a jacket, or some lost money, but you'll never be able to obtain that Holy Spirit once the Most High take it from you. Right? He takes it back up to the spirit world. Last time I checked, hey, the Lord has no dwellings with man on the earth, man. And you'll never be able to get it again. So a lot of brothers abuse this truth, man. Take this thing serious. You're living in the last days, man. You thought that blood moon is just for show last night, man? You think the Most High just I want to touch a red? No, that is an omen, a sign of bloodshed and destruction coming on the earth, man. Brothers are having dreams. Women are having dreams. You're seeing all manner of hell breaking loose on the earth. These things are really happening. Esau is literally going in buildings because his kingdom is falling. He's sick of being cussed out by Jake on the highways and byways. He's sick of you black Hebrew Israelites, and he's just going in stores wholesale, just not giving a damn and just letting it go. And if you're not under the protection of the Most High, you're gonna be caught out there, man. And it's gonna be more Edomites doing that, Rather they have damn MK Ultra, they've been programmed by the CIA. Rather they have a spell on them, or rather they have a manifesto where they've always despised the children of Israel. These devils are going to start showing their horns, man. And his blessing is the source. So you can shoot back, but you're going to lose. We're going to wait on the Lord and keep our faith in the Most High in these days, man. And watch this place go down. But you got it, King.
Come, it's the book of 2 Peter, right? Chapter 3 and verse 1. This second epistle, beloved, I now write unto you, in both which I stir up your pure minds of way of remembrance, that ye may be mindful of the words which were spoken before by the holy prophets. So Peter is saying, look, man, you gotta stir this thing up, man. Isaiah wasn't prophesying in vain. Jeremiah wasn't just speaking in vain, man. Ezekiel wasn't just saying things for the hell of it. You understand? John, the revelator, he wasn't just saying things because it was a random day, man. You have to understand the Lord is trying to stir up your minds to remember these accounts and these prophecies, because we're living in the days of prophecy. We're living in the days to remind ourselves of what's going on and what's coming to pass. Because if you don't stir up your mind by reading these scriptures by way of understanding, then you're going to be overcharged with this world, man, and given to it. It says, and of the commandment of us, the apostles of the Lord and Savior, right? Yahweh Shai the righteous. So we have to stir up by reading. Chiefly, we got to go into this prophecy in the last days so we know what's going to happen on the earth before it comes to pass, so we can prepare ourselves. What's the use of checking the damn weather? You know it's going to rain. You know what's going to come to pay. You know what day is coming in. You know what time is coming in. And then you look at it and you go outside and you have a t-shirt on. You're going to get wet, man. You looked and assessed the situation, but you didn't do anything about it. That's the same thing as seeing these blood moons, seeing the sky. Like the Lord called those men hypocrites. You can discern the signs, you understand, and the clouds and the rain and different things, but you can't discern the signs of the times. This is very important, man. Right, let me bring that out real fast. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 16 and verse 1. It says, the Pharisees also with the Sadducees came, tempting, and tempting desired him that he would shew them a sign from heaven. And he answered and said unto them, when it is even, ye say, it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but ye cannot discern the signs of the times. So you don't want to be that ignorant man that's watching all of these earthquakes, all of these storms, all of these wildfires, and all these blood moons, and all these shootouts. And the Lord is showing you these things, man. What you think news is for? News isn't just for something to just cut on, man. These whistleblowers, these news outlets, these channels, times and dates, letting you know end time headlines. These things aren't just for show. The Lord is giving you these things. You're not a damn news reporter, man. You can't teleport throughout the earth and see what's going on. The Lord made it accessible for you to see by, understand his works, for you to be able to be applicable to see what's going on in the earth, man. There's no excuses. It says, and in the morning it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times? So we have to discern in the last days what times we living in.
All right. And I'm going to get right into it, right? Let's go to 2nd Esdras, chapter 3 and 1. Right? It reads, in the 13th year, right, after the ruin of the city, I was in Babylon and lay troubled upon my bed, and my thoughts came up over my heart. For I saw the desolation of Zion and the wealth of them that dwelt at Babylon. I mean, this is something we deal with. I mean, Jake, you deal with this every day. If you're in the spirit, when you land on your bed, you wonder why these heathen are prospering, why they have Teslas and you have to catch 3 buses, why they live in top condominiums and you live in the projects, why they don't, like the Lord said in Psalm chapter 73. Let me get this real quick. Hey, and that's a normal thought, man. Sometimes you look at these nations and, you want those things, man. You want that car, right? You don't like catching the bus. I don't know any brother that likes catching the bus in the rain, man, and having a water splash on them. You don't like that, right? You don't like working. You don't like paying bills. You look at these heathen and they live good. And sometimes, when you get weak and, your mind and your flesh take over, you start wanting that stuff they have, man. You start wanting their fruits of their kingdom. And Ezra, not saying Ezra wanted it, but Ezra, he was dealing with the oppression and it stirred up his mind. Right? This let me get this quick precept. Psalm chapter 73 and 1. Truly, God is good to Israel, even to such as are of a clean heart. But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. I was tripping. That's what that literally means. All right. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. So David said he was envious at the foolish. And David had more wisdom than all of us, man. David had more knowledge than all of us. David was closer to the Most High. And even David said that he was envious at the foolish when he saw the prosperity of the wicked. Right? Salakia, let me pull it up on here. Bear with me. Salakia. Right? This let me get one more in there. Right? And that, like I said, that's a normal thing, but you got to check yourself sometimes, man. Because if you start wanting this stuff so bad and you forget the judgments and you forget why the Most High set this place up and why he did set up the white man and why America has been created, if you don't meditate on that, you'll end up falling in the world, man. You got to say, oh, look, the only reason they have this is because the Most High set them up to be destroyed. Right? It reads, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked, for there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Yeah, and the so-called white man, and even through the time of Ezra, the Babylonians, they weren't in trouble like other men. Right? We're in trouble, man. Like other men. We have to worry about police sirens, being pulled over, shot, financial stress, child support, abortions. Your woman aborts your baby while you're at work. She goes and freaks off with the so-called white man who opens her up and sticks a tube and pulls your firstborn son out, man. While you're at work, sweating, thinking about the bedroom, what color you're going to paint your bedroom for your firstborn son, man. This is the trouble that we deal with. And Ezra, he's reflecting and thinking about the oppression of his people. The brothers got it.
And I bring out a precept. It's the book of John, right? Chapter 7 and verse number 7. It says, the world cannot hate you, but it hateth me. So like it hateth because I testify of it, that the works thereof are evil. So everything in the world essentially is evil, man. I mean, from the chiefest damn boats, yachts, planes, all of these things are to sift out your mind and your spirit, man. To look at all of the bright lights, man. This place is an illusion. You know, you go somewhere, you see something, then it's really not what you thought it was. Then it's a trap. You cut your hand in the trap, and now you can't get it out. This place is essentially an illusion, man. This isn't fun. A fun is a feast day to me, man. Fun is righteousness. Fun is putting these nations in captivity and ruling and seeing how the Lord could build up your kingdom. That's fun to me, man. It isn't fun going to a damn club, these wicked carnivals, all of these damn things of this world, man. That's not fun. And the Lord said he testifies against this world. So the Lord wasn't joining hand to hand with the world, trying to fit in. And that's a lot of Jake's problem. They try to fit in this thing, man. When essentially, on a deeper level, we stand out. We're literally that we can't be hid on that mountain, like the Lord says, man. That light that cannot be hid on that mountain. We're going to stand out. And we're going to literally rule this earth. But Jake can't be in this world and associated with the lust thereof. I got another precept, right? It's the book of First Thessalonians, chapter 4 and verse number 4. This First Thessalonians 4 and 4, that every one of you should know how to possess his vessel in sanctification and honor, not in the lust of concupiscence, even as the Gentiles which knew not God. Let's not always talk about sexual desires, man. And the Gentiles, they lust after ruling the earth. They lust after all of these different things on the left-hand side. They lust after boats and yachts and planes and women and the lust thereof, man, in this world. Like I said in First Peter, man. We don't go to those banquetings. We don't do the things that these Gentiles do, and they don't know how to possess their vessel, man. We're supposed to be kings. We got to know how to control ourselves in this world. You know, a child, when they go to the store, they want to touch everything. They want this candy bar, they want this candy, they want that, they want a juice, they want this, they want that. They all hell breaking loose. You got to know how to look at all of these different things in the aisle as you walk and have this straightforward mindset of the kingdom looking straight on, man. Like it says in Proverbs, the 4th chapter, you have to look straight on in this thing. It says, not in the lust of concupiscence, even as the Gentiles which know not God. So certain men that do certain things, they don't know the Lord. But how much more we, knowing the Lord, you understand, in all of the traps in Babylon.
And I say this too. You know, Jake is weak, man. Let me get this in the wisdom of Solomon. Right? You know, that's why Yahweh Shah said, pray ye therefore that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. And many men had weak moments. John the Baptist had weak moments. Jeremiah had so-called weak moments. You know, our forefathers have these times, even David, when that flesh kicks in, man. Right? I'm going to get this in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 4, and you got to fight that thing, man. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 4 and 10. He pleased God and was beloved of him, so that living among sinners, he was translated. Right? Now, this is speaking about on multiple levels, Enoch the elect, right? Or the elect. Yea, speedily was he taken away, lest that wickedness should alter his understanding or deceit beguile his soul. So the Lord says, speedily was he taken away. The Lord has to literally take us out of Babylon the Great and these strange lands right on time. If we're here, if we're to stay in America, 1 second sooner, you'll fall out. You'll literally fall out. You'll actually go smoke that weed. You'll go to the strip club. Right? If you take that hair wrap off, you will commit adultery. The Lord has to get you out right on time. That's what he's telling you. A lot of jakes, I could be here forever. I can see my... No, brother, you can't be here forever. You'll drown in these demons. Iniquity is increasing. There's more evil on the earth, and the temptation gets harder, and the flesh gets weaker and more corruptible as we age, man. Like the Lord said in 2nd Esdras chapter 5, we're of a weaker fashion, paraphrasing, than a generation that was before us, man. We're a lot weaker and frailer. So the Lord got to get us out of here, man. It says less means before, right? Lest that wickedness should alter his understanding or deceit beguile his soul. For the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest, and the wandering of concupiscence doth undermine the simple mind. So this links up with 1 Thessalonians chapter 4:4. The bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest. What's honest? It's true. What does it mean when something is obscure? It's blocked, it's blinded, shrouded, cloudy. You can't see through it. So witchcraft, sorcery, sin, it blocks your mind from being upright. And the wandering of concupiscence and all these evil spirits and attractions and the wicked eye that weepeth upon every occasion, it'll take your mind down, man. There's so much sin and seduction, you're going to go off. So the Lord has to get you out of here. You start wondering, I really want to be like Esau, man. I'll just give in. A lot of jakes, a lot of brothers that was in hardcore slavery that became coons, they cooned out really 2 reasons. They cooned out because they got weak, or they cooned out because they feared. Right? They feared the so-called white man, so they cooned out to save their life, or they cooned out because they got weak, man. You know, they got weak and they said, well, the so-called white man's life, maybe it isn't that bad. Being in his big house, eating his good food, his delicates, and sleeping on his bed, maybe it's not that bad. It is that bad. Stop getting freaked off with the society, man. Like Araya said, man. There's nothing good about buying a house here, right? You have mansions. The whole earth is yours, man. There's nothing spectacular about having a lot of cars. You have chariots. Wake up. Jake, I got this chain. Brother, that's not real gold. That's not chrysoprasus. There are things in Revelation 21 that I still can't pronounce. To this day, emeralds and all types of gems, man. This is not it. So you got to wake up and don't get caught up in this world, man, or it'll take hold on you. Brother,
I got a precept. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 6, verse 12. The land back off the world of the brothers of sin. Your flesh is brittle. So it's easy for you to see something that's glittering, see something that may appear nice, but as the brother said, it's nothing but an illusion. Right? This place is a dry land. But when you're in dry lands or deserts, you see mirages. It may seem nice and it may seem comely. It may seem like this is what you want and what you need, but it's not. Because once you have it, once you obtain it, it is nothing. And that's exactly what a mirage is. An optical illusion caused by atmospheric conditions, especially the appearance of a sheet of water in a desert or on a hot road caused by the reflection of light from the sky by heated air. And it's mentioned in the Psalms that this place is a dry land. So when you're in a dry land, you got that heat beaming on you, this affliction beaming on you, and you see something that may seem nice, that's an illusion. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 6, verse 12. For who knoweth what is good for man in this life? Who knows? Yeah, you're looking at that car. Oh, obviously you need an A to B in this captivity. Yeah, I got my car. You boasting of it, brother. So what? That has to be in the front of your mind at the end of the day. Yeah, all praises, but don't let your spirit, you know, you know, don't let your spirit fall away because you got something new, you know. Yeah, you got this, you got that. Oh, I think I need this, brother. You don't even know what you want, you know. For who knoweth what is good for man in this life? All the days of his life, it's like all the days of his vain life, which he spendeth as a shadow. For who can tell a man what shall be after him under the sun? See that? You under the sun all day, that heat beaming on you. You may see things that may be nice, but it's not at the end of the day. It's all vain, it's all an illusion, you know. That's why I say one more in Ecclesiastes 9:1. For all this I considered in my heart, even to declare this, that the righteous and the wise and their works are in the hands of God. No man knoweth either love or hatred by all that is before them. Jake, you don't know what you want. Jake, you barely know what you feel. You forget everything. You say you love her one day, now you just dislike her the next day. You loathe your wife, right? You can't stand looking at her. You got your job that you thought you wanted. You're working too many hours, and it's draining you. You got all the kids you wanted, but they wicked. You got that sandwich at the new spot, but it gave you the runs. You can't have nothing here, you know? You got it.
And that made me think of this in Genesis chapter 47, man. Right? This Genesis chapter 47, and I want to get the exact, I believe I have to find the account. When Jacob said, all the years of my life of my pilgrimage, I believe it's Genesis 48, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if I can find that. Salakia. I just thought about it through the spirit. I'll have to find it, but we can go back to second Esdras. But Jacob essentially said, when Pharaoh asked him how old he is, he said he gave him his age, and he said few and evil have my days been on the earth, man.
Yeah. 47:9.
What is it?
47:9. Genesis.
Okay, so I know 47. That's it. Right. The water con, that's it. Genesis 47, and I'm start at 8. And how old art thou? And Jacob said unto Pharaoh, the days of the years of my pilgrimage are in 130 years. Few and evil have the days of the years of my life been, and have not attained unto the days of the years of the life of my fathers and the days of their pilgrimage. So Jacob knew he was a pilgrim on earth. Doesn't mean he was 135. He spent 135 years just on the run. No, man, he was raised up with his father and his mother. He wasn't on the run for 130 years. What does it mean he was a pilgrim? And what pilgrims, man? You understand? We're just sojourning on this earth, man. We're not supposed to be here in America. You have to remember, you're a pilgrim here, not a permanent resident. You wasn't sent to America. You said what?
No, I was gonna say you're a bum.
Yeah. You wasn't sent here to prosper. You wasn't sent here to have nice things. If the Most High give you things, he give you things, right? But you got to remember, Jacob, he lived 130 years, and he said few and evil. He said 130 years is few. That shows you what Jacob was thinking about. He knew that this life wasn't nothing, man. He said 130 years ain't nothing, man. We're created for better things, man. Right? My fathers lived 175. Right? My fathers lived 969. I don't care about being 80 years old, 90 years old. You got people, oh, my grandma, 122. That's nothing. Our forefathers were 930, 975, man. Remember that you're a pilgrim here, brother. Right? A pilgrim is somebody that's on a go. They're on the run. until they get to their final destination. And the sooner you realize that you're just a pilgrim in America and keep that mentality, the less inclined you'll be to settle down here in America, man. You know. So we can go back to this. Jake, you got to remember you just a pilgrim here, man. Let's go back to 2nd Esdras, the 3rd chapter. 2nd Esdras chapter 3 and verse 2. For I saw the desolation of Zion and the wealth of them that dwelt at Babylon. And my spirit was sore moved, so that I began to speak words full of fear to the Most High and said, "Oh Lord."
It's like a real quick point. You know, it's not a day that passed where I don't think about this verse when I wake up. That's kind of one of the first precepts that be on my mind, you know, or at least driving to work, you know, like that again. That's all.
Yeah, spirit sore moved, meaning you're vexed here, man. I was mad as hell on the plantation today. You know, I got to stretch my damn face to smile for the so-called white man. You know, I got to stretch at work, man. I had this one job, they made us literally stretch at work before we slaved out. Say, come on, boys. And we had to stretch at the damn plantation, man. So this is hell.
I had to go to Esau's house today, you know, and this was in the back of his car. He was real wicked. This is in the back of his car. I eat my roadkill. See,
Wow.
average Jake, you know, whatever. When you're in the truth, when you know what's wicked and what's righteous, it's a vex. You don't want to see anything like this.
Yeah.
You don't want to see a man post something on his damn car. I eat my roadkill. Beaver Creek tackling beer. That's folly.
Yeah.
He had guns hanging all in the houses and animals all over and women all nasty on the posters. And he burping. He was an old, nasty white man. I feel like I met Esau today. He had a big fat house and he was fat himself. Scruffy beard, laughing. He was sweating. It was gross.
And you know how you know you're destroyed? Because the things that you should be mad at, you don't get mad at anymore. That's how you know you're on your way out, man. When you're not really mad driving to work or getting gas or, you know, it can be the smallest things. That's how you know you're on your way back to the world. You're on your way out of here, man. You're normalizing captivity. And you're being conditioned and programmed to accept slavery and to accept this prison system that you're in. You should be more mad than you are mad right now, man. You should be more vexed than you're vexed. You should be moved in the spirit, man. You should be mad literally that you know you got to damn eat the so-called white man's food, man. You know that you're in captivity. It's the small things. You got to pay water. You got to sleep. You got to buy a bed from him, and you got to pay damn insurance on beds, man. Life insurance. You should be mad about these things. Let me read on. O Lord, who bearest rule, thou spakest at the beginning when thou didst plant the earth, and that thyself alone, and commandest the people, and gave it. So this is Ezra speaking. And gave a body, and gave us the body unto Adam without soul, which was the workmanship of thine hands, and didst breathe into him the breath of life, and he was made living before thee. Right, and that's speaking about the chosen Adam. Right, it wasn't just one man created. You have many men created, but you had the chosen Adam, right? And he was the one given the laws and commandments by the Most High. And thou leddest him into paradise, which thy right hand had planted before ever the earth came forth. So paradise back then was the Garden of Eden, right? You had immortal fruit. You understand? You had, when you read Wisdom of Solomon, the 10th chapter, 1 on down, the Lord said Adam had power to rule all things. Right? So Adam wasn't just sitting around naked, man, swinging from vines. He was in paradise. He was in bliss. He was a king. Read Ezekiel chapter 31 and see the power that the Most High gave Adam. Right? Let's read on. And unto him thou gavest commandment to love thy way, which he transgressed, and immediately thou appointest death in him and in his generations, of whom came nations, tribes, people, kindreds out of number. Right? And I want to prove that the Lord gave Adam a commandment to love his way, that he went off and broke. Right? Let's get that in Genesis. Let me get this quick precept. Right, let's go to Genesis, the 2nd chapter. So what is the love of the Most High? Well, we know that 1 John 5:3 says, and this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. So if Adam received the commandment to love the way of the Lord, that means Adam received the laws, right? Statutes. This Genesis chapter 2 and 7. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. So the Lord could take a man from the dust of the ground. Literally, man is created out the ground, but really on a spiritual level, man is taken from that lower state, that dust of death you read about in Psalms 22 and 15, that confusion, right? That no understanding spirit, and the Most High gives you wisdom. That's Wisdom of Solomon 7:24 on down. And then you become living. You're not living until you have the knowledge of the Most High. So the Lord inspires you, which means he breathes that breath into you.
Con, let me get a quick precept on that too. Right? Like the brother was just saying, it's 1 Kings chapter 16 and verse number 2. Right? 1 Kings 16 and 2. So the Bible deals with a lot of hip talk, man. So everything isn't literal when you read the scriptures. And it reads, for as much as I exalted thee out of the dust and made thee prince over my people. So you could be at a lower state, right? You could be, hey, we was in the dust, man, when we was in the world. We didn't know what was going on. We didn't know the Lord. A lot of brothers were stuck in Christianity, in the world. A lot of people were drinkers. A lot of people were robbers. They were thieves. Hey, the Lord raised us out of the dust, man. A dust is a lower state. The Lord said, for as much as I exalted thee out of the dust and made thee prince over my people Israel, and thou hast walked in the way of Jeroboam and hast made my people Israel to sin, to provoke me to anger with their sins. So essentially, the Lord raised Adam out of that lower state and out of the dust, which was physical, right? On a physical level, created him from the dust, right? Sirach, chapter 17 and verse 1. And on a spiritual level, man. Because when you breathe the breath of wisdom into you, you become a living creature. You become a living soul. Because essentially, we're all dead, man. Before you knew this knowledge of truth of Yahweh, you was dead. You was in the congregation of the dead because you did not have the knowledge of truth, which Yahweh is going to give you life, man. These words are life. This spirit is life, man. And once you know it, that breath of life enters into you. You be able to prophesy, read, understand parables and dark sayings. And we never thought you'd be able to understand a dark parable and a dark saying, man. I mean, the who art thou and whence comest thou and all these. What is this? But then that spirit hits you, and now you start loving. You start eating it up. You start linking it up with different books. That's the Lord raising you out the dust.
Come. And I got one more quick precept on the dust. All right, this is a quick precept. Isaiah chapter 26 and 5. For he bringeth down them that dwell on high, the lofty city, he layeth it low, even to the ground, he bringeth it even to the dust. So when you're down on the ground, when you're in that lower state, when you're in captivity, when you're destroyed for a lack of knowledge, the Lord will take you down to the dust, man. That's why Jake say from rags to riches. That doesn't mean they had literal clothing rags on. It just means they was down bad, man.
Get out the mud.
I was just about to say that. I get it out the mud. That's what Jake say, man. We had to deal with that 3 weeks ago. We get out the mud. You know? That doesn't mean, now if you're an Edomite, what do you mean get out the mud? It's the asphalt and concrete. And mud? No, you Jake, we didn't have to ask him what that means. Right? Because we Jake, man. We know what it means to get out the mud. We're from the dust. Right? right? Jake said I started from the bottom. That was a song, started from the bottom. You know? So this concept of being at a lower state and being exalted is something that's prevalent amongst the children of Israel in every generation, man. Right? So we can go back. Oh, I had one more, Salakia. Right? Just for the brothers taking notes. Right? Ezekiel chapter 37. Right? This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37 and verse 5. It reads, "Thus said the Lord God unto these bones, Behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live." Right? And this breath is the word of the Most High. It reads, "And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am the Lord." Because we were dead bones. Like the brother said, we were in the dead, in the grave. And the Lord started putting up the bones, connecting your damn femur to your ulnus or your radius, and your ulnus, then put your damn thigh bone to your this bone, and start linking you up. So I prophesied as I was commanded, and I prophesied, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone. And this is Jake, bone to bone, flesh to flesh. This is our people coming together as a nation. And when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came up upon them, and the skin covered them, but there was no breath in them. Then said he unto me, Prophesy unto the wind. Prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, Thus saith the Lord God, Come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood up upon their feet, an exceeding great army. And this is happening, man. Bone into bone, flesh into his flesh, man. And that spirit of the Lord is breathed into us. We're standing upon our feet upright, an exceeding great army. And this is Israel, man, in the last days. And various congregations, outside of congregations, all men that believe in the Most High and his son, Yahushua.
And I want to make a quick point too. On another fold, the Lord likens man to trees, and the Lord likens man to plants. And cannot a plant grow unless it started from that soil and it has to sprout upward? Every seed, like the Lord says in the book of 1 Corinthians, the 3rd chapter, every seed that's planted has to essentially be in what? It has to be in the dust, man. It has to be watered. So if man is trees, which he is, let me get 1 Corinthians. Right, chapter 3, Salakia, and verse, I'm going to start at 6. 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 6. I have planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the increase. So then neither is he that planteth anything, neither he that watereth, but God that giveth the increase. So when you're giving an increase, you understand, and you're doing the work of the Lord. Hey, Adam was a gardener, man, on a spiritual level. He was the keeper. He was out there, he was tilling the ground. All of that spiritual, man. From the ground, we're going to come forth. So if Adam is literally tilling the ground, what is he doing? He's setting the nation in order. He's making sure everything is in order. When you go to the book of Song of Solomon, let me get this quick precept, right? In Song of Solomon. It's the book of Song of Solomon, chapter 8 and verse 11. And it reads, Solomon had a vineyard at Baal Haman. He let out the vineyard unto keepers. Every one for the fruit thereof was to bring 1,000 pieces of silver. So he let his vineyard out to what? To keepers. What do keepers do to a vineyard? They till it. They make sure it's in order. They pluck it up. They root it out. They're getting rid of weeds. They're doing this. They're doing that. That's how the men were on a spiritual level, man. They were getting things in order. And essentially, that's exactly where we are. The Lord has his men and his women and children, which make up his garden. You understand? And man is a seed. He gets planted in this thing. And then the Lord could bring forth what? 30-fold, 60-fold, or 100-fold, like you read in the book of Mark, the 4th chapter. So essentially, we both all come from the dust on a spiritual level and on a physical level.
Good.
You on mute, Ken.
one of the first concepts of understanding that, you know, you got to obtain that. Yes, we come from the dust of the ground. These things you should be well acquainted with. Coming out the dust, that men are trees, that the waters are the wisdom or the nations, that mountains are kingdoms. These are beasts or the nation. These are things that you have to obtain. You know? So this second Esdras chapter 3 and 7. And unto him thou gavest commandment to love thy way, which he transgressed. And immediately thou appointest death on him, and in his generations, of whom came nations, tribes, people, and kindreds out of number. Yeah, what does it mean the Lord appointed death in him? When he went off, man. Right? When the Lord had Adam go off and learn the doctrine and philosophy of those nations at the time, which the Lord calls the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. As soon as you go off, the Lord appoint death in you, man. And that happened to Adam. The Lord said in Romans chapter 5, let me get this real quick. But this Romans chapter 5. Let me get this real quick. And 12. Wherefore, as by one man sin entered into the world, and death by sin, and so death passed upon all men, for that all have sinned. So Adam is the one, essentially, who brought sin into the world. Transgression of the law. Now we know that the wages of sin is death. So if you come out of Adam, you're going to die. Right? I mean, it's plain. You're going to taste of death. And that death is like a generational disease that doesn't skip a generation, that hits every family member, and everybody's going to taste the death. These are the things that Adam brought into the world. Now, the Lord had all this happen on a deeper level, you know, for his own will, which we will not get into right now. But keeping it simple, the reason why the Lord had Adam go off is so the second Adam can come and be the redeemer, you know?
Oh.
And I had another quick precept, Salakia, and Ecclesiasticus, the 40th chapter. Let's go to Sirach chapter 40. So death passed upon all men, for all have sinned. So when Adam went off, you know, that's the reason why things are the way they are, man. Sirach 40 and 1. Great travail is created for every man, and then heavy yoke is upon the sons of Adam. From the day that they go out of their mother's womb till the day that they return to the mother of all things. Meaning you're going to catch hell. You're going to deal with demons, flesh, slavery, burdens, woe, lamentations. That's the yoke. You have a heavy yoke putting you down, keeping you away from the Most High. This is the flesh.
Right.
And you can't leave this. You can't take this yoke off. This is the one yoke that you can never take off, no matter what, until you get to the kingdom. And this yoke is on you forever. That's why it says from the day they go out of their mother's womb, man, to the day they return to the mother of all things. What's the mother of all things? The ground, the dust. These are the things you deal with if you come out of Adam. Their imagination of things to come and the day of death trouble their thoughts and cause fear of heart. So now we have to deal with stress, anxiety. So when Adam fell, it's not just, okay, we went into slavery on ships, right? That's not it. It's deeper than that, man. It's not, okay, well, now we got to go to Walmart and get food. The reason you have thoughts of fear of heart, you have stress, anxiety, why you are worried, why you deal with these spirits is because of Adam. Your imagination, you're trying to figure out how your life is going to be 5 years from now. You're trying to set goals and plans. And this happens to everybody. From him that sitteth on the throne of glory unto him that is humble in earth and ashes. From him that weareth purple. Yeah, last time I checked, David dealt with things, man. And the fool. Right? From him that weareth purple and a crown unto him that is clothed with the linen frock. Wrath and envy, trouble and unquietness, fear of death, and anger, and strife, and at the time of rest upon his bed, his night sleep do change his knowledge. So even in the daytime, you deal with wrath, right? Damn envy, trouble at your job, maybe unquietness at your home, your kids loud, you can't get no sleep. You're thinking about fear of death. You get pulled over. You don't know if you're going to make it. Anger, right? You're angry because things aren't going your way. Strife. You and your woman might get into it, and just when you think you can relax and go to bed, you're dealing with damn nightmares, man. You know, a little or nothing is his rest, and we know firsthand about this. And afterward, he is in his sleep, as in a day of keeping watch, troubled in the vision of his heart, as if he were escaped out of the battle. Right? So these are the things that we deal with, man. You know, jealousy, envy, all of these spirits that were unleashed on us when Adam went off.
I got a precept too. It's the book of Romans, chapter 7 and verse. I'm gonna start at 17. Romans chapter 7 and verse number 17, right? And it reads, it says, now then it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. Or no matter how much you want to be on fire and damn read 24/7, stay up all night, fast for 2 weeks straight, do the things that knowing you I wish I did, and rebuild like Nehemiah and shake the hand like damn Ezekiel. I mean, you can't do it, man. You can't do it at that level that you want to, because there's always going to be something stopping you with your sin, man. No matter how much you want to do the work of the Lord. Hey, say you're just on fire. You're just the most zealous on fire person in the world. Your physical ailments won't allow you to do that. Your back pains, right? You may twist your neck, right? Your damn ankles are swollen. It's something that's going to stop you in that sin and the spiritual demon Satan to keep you from that godlike estate, man, that we were first founded to be like, man. It says, for I know that in me, that is my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. For to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good, I find not, man. So this is Paul. Paul wasn't wicked, man. Paul was righteous when he knew Yahweh. He was on fire for the Lord, man. I mean, he did more labor than the 12. He labored more abundantly than them all. He was on ships. He did the work of the Lord. He was healing, right? He shook the hand. He prophesied. He did everything there is to do in this thing, man. But yet in him dwelleth no good thing. How much more us, man? Our thoughts, our emotions, how we feel. I mean, these things. I mean, I hate feeling like this, man. I hate being about to read and then I get sleepy out of nowhere.
Right.
Just getting sleepy.
Right.
I mean, before I picked up the Bible, my eyes was wide awake. But as soon as I touched the words of life, I get sleepy out of nowhere, man. You wake up in the morning going for work, sitting up there, you getting tired. You know, you gotta get some chapters in. I mean, this is hell. It's like you gotta fight to do what you naturally are supposed to be doing, man. It's like you gotta fight to do things that are easy. You gotta fight to read. You gotta fight sometimes to fast. All hell breaking loose. You gotta push through that next fire. All right, I'm gonna go 2 days. All right, I'm gonna go 3 days. All right, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. These are spirits and demons and sin that dwelleth in you. Like the Lord said in the book of Psalms, chapter 51, I was shapen in iniquity, man. So brothers are shapen in this thing, whether they like it or not. No matter how righteous you are or not, you're gonna fall and go off. It says, for the good that I would, I do not. But the evil, which is like it, which I would not, that I do. Now, if I do that I would not, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. Right? When you go off, it wasn't really you. It was that sin that's dwelling in you, man, forcing you to go off, forcing you to be subject to the elements. It says, I find in a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. For I delight in the law of God after the inward man. And we all delight in that, man. We delight in being on fire. It feels good when you're on fire. It's nothing better than being on fire for the Lord, man. Right? Whether you read him mightily. Whether you teach him mightily. Whether you fasting, nothing's on your mind but these scriptures and breaking down new parables and getting to understand. You know, whether it's charity, you want to give more. You want to give more. You want to give more. You want to go on another food drive. You want to go on another shirt drive. You're giving your shirt off your back. Whatever it is, it feels good in the delight in the law after God, after the inward man. It says, but I see another law in my members, warring. And the Lord is a man of war, man. So don't think it's going to be all bloodshed on a physical level, and then in your spirit, it's not going to be war. Everything has an opposite reaction. You got the sun, you got the moon, old, young, rich, poor, Jacob, Esau, righteous, wicked. Then you're going to have the law, which is on fire. You're zealous, you're doing everything there is to do. You're shaking the hand, right? You healing, you're doing charity, you loving your brother. And then you're going to have that just balance of things, which is what? The law of my mind. So like you're warring against the law of my mind, bringing me into captivity. That's why Paul said in 2 Corinthians 10 and verse 3 all the way down, you got to get out of that thing, man. You got to bring these elements into captivity your damn self. And don't let these things put you in captivity. Because essentially, you're either going to bow down to Satan or you're going to fight and do the work of the Lord. And a lot of people, they're in bondage, like 2 Timothy 2 and 26. They're literally in Satan's traps and his bonds. It says, to the law of sin, which is in my members. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? So this body is death, man. He says, who's going to deliver me? So like the brother was going into earlier, and like we said all throughout this call, you should want to get out of here. Paul said it. Paul wanted to get delivered. Paul wasn't saying, you know what, I don't know what I should do. He even read about in Philippians, I believe like 1 and 20 all the way down, 1 and 14, chiefly all the way down. Paul was conflicted on whether to stay on earth or be with the Lord. Being with the Lord is far more better, but it's more expedient to be there with you. You understand? So, I mean, our forefathers wanted to get the hell out of here, man. A looking and hastening toward the coming of Yahushua. Peter said that, 2 Esdras 2, right in verse 12 all the way down. Ezra was saying that. Paul is saying that. All of the men of the Lord, they hasted to leave these mortal bodies. I think Yahweh, through Yahushua, our Lord. So then with the mind I myself serve the law of God, but with the flesh the law of sin.
Huh.
I got a quick precept in Matthew 24 and 14. That's like at 13. He that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And then, you know, the breakdowns, precepts, you know a whole lot of things. Those same people that know all these things, they don't know how to endure. You got to learn how to endure as well. That's another skill you have to have. And, you know, some may consider that a gift. You know, some brothers I spoke to, they do X, Y, and Z, but it's hard for them to endure. You know, and that really just means you got to build up your faith, you know, as well. But I digress.
I mean, that's absolutely right, because in a war, some wars, I mean, you have wars. Let me get this in James 4. Some wars last a long time, man. A war is not an overnight thing or a one-day thing. I believe World War I was like 5 years. World War II is like 5 years. You got the 100 Years' War. You got all of these wars, man. And there's no longer war. The most ancient war is the war between the flesh and the spirit. You know, and this is James chapter 4 and 1. From whence come wars and fighting among you? Come they not hence, even of your lust, that war in your members? So a lot of brothers, they wonder why they get into external conflicts and have external arguments, and why they deal with things, with arguments with people, with their spouse, why they struggle with certain things externally. It's because it's what's inside of you, man. It's literally what's inside of you that's causing you to go off. Yahushua said that, man. He said, from within, these are the things that defile the man. He didn't say from without. He didn't say America. He said that's in you. You're the one that wants to serve America. America doesn't want to serve you. America doesn't want to bow down. You're the one that wants to freak off in this land, man. You're the one thinking about adultery. You're the one thinking about lust and murder. You're defiling yourself. So this is the most dangerous thing on the earth, man. That's why when I went to the precept, the Apostle Paul called it a body of death. How come Paul didn't say who's going to deliver me from Rome? How come Paul didn't say who's going to deliver me from the hand of Caesar? He said, who's going to deliver me from the body of death? That's how deep our forefathers. It wasn't just thinking about damn jail, man, and prison in America and Rome. They really want to get out these bodies, you know, so you can finally serve the Most High freely. So all of your wars and your fightings and conflict that you're dealing with and your struggles, it's about your lust that war in your members. You know, and I wanted to get this. I wanted to go back just to get that word in the Greek. I think we went into it on the Sabbath service back in Romans 7, just to touch on this. So Romans 7:18, I want to go into that word flesh real quick to let me back on what the brother was going into. So here's the Greek word for flesh. So the Apostle Paul said, I know that dwelleth in my flesh is no good thing. Or they war in your members. So this thing gets real, man. I hate this body. I'm sore right now. We're not going to be sore in the kingdom. If you go for a run or you work out, you're not going to be sore. You're not going to have disease. Brothers got slight coughs and allergies and ailments.
Strong's G 4561. Sarx.
So here's the Greek word for flesh, right? It says the flesh, the soft substance of the living body, which covers the bones and is permeated with blood of both man and beast. It's not what you want. It says the sensuous nature of man, the animal nature, right? The animal nature with cravings which incite to sin. And that's what man has, man. Man has a nature to sin. Like dogs. Dogs, they have to smell. You know, cats have to climb on stuff. They have to. Like I used that example on a cold cut one day. You could try to tame a wild bear, but that bear is still going to be inside of him. You can make that bear juggle, hula hoop. You can make that bear wear a hat. You can make that bear go to the circus, but you can't take that bear out that bear. Give that bear time. He's going to be a bear. He's going to attack. He's going to crave bear food. He's going to want to do bear things. He's going to try to hibernate. He's going to try to kill you. You can't take that bear out of a bear. And you can't take our animal instinct, our nature out of us to sin. We're going to sin. A lot of brothers, oh, you're off. What do you mean you're going to sin? We are going to sin. You're going to sin. It may not be now, but you're going to go off. That's why you need Yahweh Shah. Hey, I'm going to go off. It's only a matter of time. Like, it's only a matter of time for those bears attack. Just give it time. And it's only a matter of time before you freak off, man. It will happen. Then you repent, and then you'll feel bad. Then you pray for mercy. Then the Lord will deliver you, and then you'll magnify the name of the Lord, man. This is sad. This is a depressing life in these bodies. I got another precept real quick, Salakia.
I got a quick point too. I was telling the brother this. I told him that verbatim, word for word, pretty much. I said, brother, you're going to do it again. He said, what do you mean? I said, look, brother, you're in this flesh. You will do it again. Not to sound negative, but be an advocate, but you're in this flesh. There's going to be something you're going to have to deal with. Hey, and let's say you just overcome it. Hey, there's going to be another thing. Because guess what? That's this life. You got to deal with it. You have to know how to endure. If you let those things get to you, just destroy you. Hey, like it's saying Proverbs 24:10, if your faith is little, then you're weak.
You faint in the day of adversity.
Yeah, you don't want to faint in the day of adversity. So sometimes you gotta spark that fire under Jake. Say, you don't gotta say it like that, but pretty much gird up your loins. You have to acknowledge that. If you can't acknowledge that, you just can't acknowledge it, then Satan is laughing. That's all I'll say.
And I want to get this real quick to add to that. This Romans, and a lot of brothers are getting depressed right. This is nothing to be depressed about, man. Oh boy, I'll just never get right. Well, we're just showing you the nature of man. Right? Romans chapter 8:20. For the creature, I'm gonna start at 19. For the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of God. And everybody has an earnest expectation. People that play sports, their earnest expectation is to be MVP. Be on that podium, hold that golden trophy, right? People that bake, their earnest expectation is to be the top chef. Everybody has a desire. Our desire, if we're the servants of the Lord, is what? For the manifestation of the sons of God. What does this mean, the manifestation of the sons of God? To be out of these bodies and put in a spiritual body. To be able to serve the Most High free. This is what we want. Our expectation is not to make it in America, man. We literally are waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who had subjected the same in hope. So who's the creature? We're the creature. Because in order to be a creature, you need a creator, who's the Most High. And the Lord made us subject to vanity. And your woman is subject to you, meaning you call the shots. You have the final say so. Your woman may want to do something, but you have the ability to green light it or red light it, man. Your children are subject to you. You call the shots. They can't usurp authority over you. You cannot usurp authority over vanity. You were made, vanity rules over you, man. That's why you think wicked thoughts out of nowhere. You do stuff that don't make sense. You know, you freak off, and you know, you're lazy, you're slothful. It's not because you want to, it's because the Lord, that's your head right now. On the left-hand side, vanity. Telling you, go to sleep. You just go to sleep. You try to fight it. I gotta read. Vanity said, go to sleep, go to sleep. Go to sleep, but I want to stay up. Then you go to sleep, man. That's vanity. You know, vanity tells you, keep watching that nasty website. Your spirit says, I can't do this. And then vanity says, watch it. You know you want to. And you got to listen to vanity. And your flesh ends up watching that nasty, freaky sight, man. So vanity's telling you what to do, man. Telling you not to read, don't fast, and you do it. Because you take orders from vanity. You don't want to. That's why it says not willingly. Because like if it was up to us, we'll stay up all night and read, man.
Mm-hmm.
We won't break the Sabbath day. We'll be dialed in, man. So it's not up to us. We wasn't given this lot. That's what it says not willingly, but by reason of him who had subjected the same in hope. So the Lord also subjected us to hope on the right-hand side. Because once you know that there's no escape, then it's like, look, you have no choice but to hope in the Most High. It's like a damn abusive relationship, man. Somebody set you up with a child abuser. Not. I'm just using an example, right? You set up with a damn abuser, man. Somebody literally gave you over to an abuser just so you can know that there's something better out there. You know, you're getting beat, and you, in the back of your mind, you know there has to be something better. And that's what keeps you alive. That's why people break out of these damn sex trafficking institutions, and it's the hope. That's all it is. So this is why we keep the commandments. You know, we go out in the highways and byways. We just hope to make it out of here. We're sick of vanity telling us to go off, man, to do things contrary to the Bible. We want to be right. Right, here's the last one. But the creature, it's like it because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage, right? This is slavery, of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of the Most High. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body. For we are saved by hope, but a hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why doth he yet hope for? And that's the point. You're waiting for the true adoption. Yeah, you're adopted back to the Father through belief in Yahweh Shai, but the real adoption that we're waiting on is for these bodies to be redeemed. And we're groaning. You know? Brothers, God.
Hey, just a quick point. I kind of forgot. Just a little just slipped my mind.
That's vanity.
Yeah, see,
You want to forget that? Nobody wants to forget a thought, man, for the edification of the flock. So, we can go back to this. So this truth gets deep, man.
Yeah.
The truth is deep.
Hey, and
battle is deep.
I was going to say something along the lines of, if you can't grasp this now, then, I'm not going to say what's the point, but like certain things you just got to understand. You got to understand the battle and why it's happening.
Right.
And through the spirit, the brothers are breaking it down on why it's happening and how you just got to deal with it right now. If you don't know how to deal with it, then, the door's right there, And when you're tired and you have to know why you have to know why. It's the flesh. Stop saying Esau works you all day.
Right.
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah, you have to play with your kids. You have to talk, deal with your wife. We get that. But look, it's the flesh. It's this yoke of iron upon your neck in Sirach 40. You want to do all these things, but it's just not enough hours in a day. You can't do it. And you keep falling short. You keep breaking your vessel at night. You keep messaging these people you don't need to. You get mad at everything. It's humbling, Knowing you kind of can't do nothing about it is humbling. And it builds up your hope and faith in the Lord. There has to be another way. There's that light.
Yeah. So let's go back. Let's go back. Hey, but the beautiful thing about it is it's not a pity. It's not a sad session, right? We didn't say, okay, look, we're going to do a sad Monday Night Fire, right? And everybody at the end of the lesson, everybody put your head down, right? Remember, you're also saved by hope. You got a hope in the Most High, man. That He gets you out of this thing, man. That's what this thing is really about. Because we don't know if we're going to make it or not. Because we go off, and that's what fuels you so much harder to do the work, hoping that the Most High deliver you. All right, but let's go back to this. Hey, the Lord said, I got another quick precept, Salakia. This Zechariah 9, right? Quick precept. This is Zechariah chapter 9. And Esau doesn't explain that in school, right? In the so-called white man's institution. It doesn't explain the battle of the flesh and the spirit.
No, not at all.
No, he's nowhere close. He's the natural man. He receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness unto him.
Esau not going to tell you about heartbreaks. It's like heartbreaks and you lost your job. He's not going to tell you how to endure that.
Yeah. Well, he'll say, look, he doesn't even tell you about unemployment. He doesn't tell you about nothing, man. He just says, get another job. Doesn't tell you anything. Right? That's why we got to get out of here, man. Let me get this quick precept. Zechariah 9 and 11. As for thee also, by the blood of thy covenant, I have sent forth thy prisoners out of the pit wherein there is no water. And the blood of the covenant, this is the blood of Yahushua. And he's taking us out this prison, man. Right? Out of the flesh, being subject to sin. Because right now, Yahushua said, I got one more Salakia. Right? Real quick. All right, I got to get this in John 8. Right? This is the classic. John 8 and 32. Right? It reads, and brothers break this thing down wrong, man. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And every brother say, you see, your mind. It's not just talking about your mind. Knowing Deuteronomy 28, man. And these guys knew that they were Israelites. They knew these things. They didn't have to wake up to the fact that they were Israel. So what does this mean? The truth shall make you free. They knew their nationality. They knew their heritage. So what is Yahushua telling them? They answered him, we be Abraham's seed, and were never in bondage to any man. How sayest thou, ye shall be made free? Yahushua answered, verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committed sin is the servant of sin. So what is Yahushua telling them? Right? If you believe in me, I can deliver you from sin. I can deliver you from being a captive under the spiritual demon Satan. I can cast out the spiritual demon Satan. You don't have to worry about dying the death of the wicked, man. If you commit adultery, if you break the Sabbath day, if you are a homosexual, or if you're a wizard, you don't have to die a death, man. You understand? If you come through me, you'll be free from that. Because in me, you'll have grace. And you'll be justified from that sin. You don't have to be a slave to that. And the servant abideth not in the house forever, but the Son abideth forever. If the Son therefore shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed. And it's talking about being free from these sins, right? From the subjection of the flesh, man. And through grace of Yahweh Shai, you're finally liberated. That's why you have the law of liberty. I just want to make those points. Gone. So we can go back to Second Esdras chapter 3. And we will finish this chapter, Lord willing. The Second Esdras chapter 3 and 8. And every people walked after their own will, and did wonderful things before thee, and despised thy commandments. And again, in the process of time, thou broughtest the flood upon those that dwelt in the world, and destroyedst them. And it came to pass in every of them, that as death was to Adam, so was the flood to these. Nevertheless, one of them thou leftest, namely Noah, with his household, of whom came all righteous men. And it happened that when they dwelt upon the earth, that when they that dwelt upon the earth began to multiply, and had gotten them many children, and were a great people, they began to be more ungodly than the first. Yeah, this is going into the time of Nimrod and all those men who lived during the time of Abraham. They were going off, man. Don't you know that Abraham was chosen and Abraham's fathers were worshiping other idols? Don't you know Laban had idols? Where do you think Rachel got those images from? In the book of Genesis. They all had idols. It was going off. Abraham was the only one that was not serving idols. And the Lord chose Abraham. Right, we can read on. Now, when they lived so wickedly before thee, thou didst choose thee a man from among them, whose name was Abraham. Him thou lovest, and unto him only thou showest thy will, and madest an everlasting covenant with him, promising him that thou wouldest never forsake his seed. And unto him thou gavest Isaac, and unto Isaac thou gavest Jacob and Esau. As for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee, and put by Esau, and so Jacob became a great multitude. And this is just showing you who's what scholars call the patriarchs. Right? That's what scholars call them, the patriarchs. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right. And you should know the time that they wrote, the time that they walked the earth. You should know what book you can read about Isaac, Jacob, even Abraham. You should know these things. And it came to pass that when thou leddest his seed out of Egypt, thou broughtest them up to the Mount Sinai. And bowing the heavens, thou didst set fast the earth. Movest the whole world, and madest the depth to tremble, and troublest the men of that age. And thy glory went through 4 gates, of fire, and of earthquake, and of wind, and of cold. Those are the various elements. That thou mightest give the law unto the seed of Jacob, and diligence unto the generation of Israel. And this is just going into Exodus 19, Exodus 20, 21, 22, etc. of the Lord giving us the law on Mount Sinai. Really, the angels gave Moses the law. When you get deep into it, Yahweh Bashmi Awashad sent the angels down, Yahweh Shai and the angels, to give Moses the law, man. You know, in spectacular fashion. Moses didn't get the law like a note you pass in class. Here's 10 commandments. Balled up on loosely paper, man. He received the law. You know, the Lord does things in an amazing way, man. You think Moses got the law and the Lord whispered them to him? You got thunder and lightning and the four gates and the angels and the chariots and the Lord, the damn written with the finger of God. That's how Moses received the law. Let me get a quick precept on that.
Yeah, the Lord spoke to Moses on a sapphire platform. If I'm
You
not
said what?
mistaken. The Lord spoke to Moses on that platform, that sapphire.
Okay. Yeah, the Lord is not. He's not white Jesus. Okay, Moses. Here's 10 commandments. 1, thou shalt. No, man. 2. Where is it at in the Bible? Damn, white Jesus talking about 2. All right, Moses. Here's number 3. That's not in the Bible, man. Let me get this. It's madness. Right? This Acts chapter 7 and verse 52. Which the Stephen cussing out the wicked of our people. Which of the prophets have not your fathers persecuted? And they have slain them, which showed before of the coming of the just one, of whom ye have been now the betrayers and murderers. Right? Our forefathers killed the prophets, who have received the law by the disposition of angels and have not kept it. Right? So you had the Lord come down with the law. It's like the Lord come down and give the law to our forefathers via the Lord and the angels. That's how the Lord received the law. All right, so we can go back to that.
Got a quick precept in Exodus 24 and 10. And they saw the God of Israel, and there was under his feet, as it were a paved work of sapphire stone, and as it were the body of heaven in his clearness. You know, like when you Google that picture, I got a picture I can pull up actually. Oh boy. Well, look, it's going. But yeah, you know, Jake can kind of. Oh, you about to Google it?
No, I thought you was gonna bring it up.
Here it go. You know, the Lord don't do anything in a plain way. You could, you know, the Lord, he's not a plain man. He's mighty.
I got a precept. So lock my bad. You got it.
He didn't give Moses the 10 Commandments as a mail carrier. You got it. I gotta look for it.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 68, and verse number 17. Right? And it reads, the chariots of God are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them in Sinai, in the holy place. Right? So it was thousands upon thousands of angels, man, on Mount Sinai. It wasn't just a big brown finger to come out the sky, man. No, you don't want to read that and just feel like one chariot, and then a voice came out, and then Moses, he was sitting up there and he's writing really, 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 really fast. And Moses was essentially fasting for 40 days. I mean, that was spiritual, man. That's a mean account for real. I mean, he's fasting, he in the spirit. He up there, it's just him, thousands upon thousands of angels. Yabashim Yabushah. That was mean, man. That's a mean account. You don't want to just look at those old creepy pictures by the so-called white man. It's just a bunch of smoke, and Moses just standing up there by himself, man. That wasn't the case. And then you see a little a painting of lightning in the background.
Right.
No, this was a mean account, man. And when you read the book of Exodus, chapter, let me get it real fast. That's what, 20 and 18. The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 18. And it reads, and all the people saw the thundering and the lightning and the noise of the trumpet, man. So you had the trumpet, the lightning, the thundering. You had the 20,000 times 20,000 angels out there. It says, and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they were moved and stood afar off. So they didn't think it was sweet. Everybody wasn't stargazing up there. Just what was going on up there? Everybody got out of there, man. I mean, Jake, even when you get home from work and it's lightning and storming, you kind of running in the house. But then running at lightning and storming, yo, I gotta get in the house. Like that's gonna protect you or something. How much more the thunder and the lightning of the Lord, man? It says, and they said unto Moses, speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not God speak with us, lest we die. And Moses said unto the people, Fear not, for God is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not. So the Lord had to do all of that to let Jake know, man, I'm not the one you want to mess with, man, that you don't sin. Not the Lord came down like, you know, and the way Esau painted all friendly and kind. Who's going to be scared of that, man? Who's going to be scared? You have to give Jake a reason to fear, man. Hey, they can say in the world, somebody not going to respect you unless you make them respect you. And sometimes you got to do what you got to do, man. And the Lord said, them that sin rebuke before all. I mean, look at this man. Is this who was thundering and lightning? Look, I mean, let's be honest, man. So, I mean, the Lord said, and the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near unto the thick darkness. It said thick darkness, man. Where God was. So where did God come out of? That thick darkness, man. That's a God of war. That's a God of vengeance. That's a God of power, man. This is a homosexual, man.
Hey, here go the yep. All right.
Man, I got a precept with the brother. Did he cut out? Okay, I got this real quick. This Deuteronomy chapter 33. Yeah, man. I mean, and these are things that, like I show you, they just show you that in the Ten Commandments, the movie of Charlton Heston, and the laws being given. You had a so-called black man by the name of Hamashiach Wamalak Yahushai. Hey, the brother put the precept. It says the Lord is among them as in Sinai. Right? This is Deuteronomy 33:1. And this is the blessing wherewith Moses, the man of God, blessed the children of Israel before his death. And he said, the Lord came from Sinai and rose up from Seir unto them. He shined forth, meaning he was in that chariot, from Mount Paran, and he came with 10,000 of saints. From his right hand went a fiery law for them. Right? So the Lord came with thousands and 10,000s of angels in a shining chariot, man. Written with the finger of the Most High. So like, that would be a scene to see. He didn't dig on and had that nasty, what's that, fossil brush? When so-called white man, he's fossiling. Not fossiling, but he's damn digging and diving, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Excavating. Yeah, his dust brush with the wooden handle. And all of the damn bristles coming out, and he's just dusting. Moses wasn't just dusting, man. Taking the dust off the Ten Commandments, man. That's madness. The Lord, like I said, the Lord has style, man. Let me pull this up real quick. Damn, fossil brush, man. You think the Lord was down there with this fossil brush? Moses excavating the Ten Commandments with a fossil brush set. Really?
And that's what they be using at the damn barbershop, man.
Yeah, man.
Excess hair off your damn head, man.
Right. Yo, stop playing with the Most High, man. Yo, you gonna learn to fear the Most High God, man, and not damn white Jesus, man. But brothers got it. Go back. Oh, I had another one, real one. It's like another precept real quick from Galatians. Yeah, that's 3:19. Right? Galatians chapter 3:19. Wherefore then serveth the law? It was added because of transgressions, till the seed should come, to whom the promise was made. And it, meaning the law, was ordained by angels in the hand of a mediator. So the law was ordained. When you ordain something, you consecrate it. You stamp it, for lack of better terms. Who stamped the law? Who made it official? Who gave it out? The angels. In the hand of Moses, the mediator. You know? So we can go back to this. So that's what this means when Ezra said the four gates, right? And thy glory went through four gates of fire, earthquake, wind, and cold. That's what we read in Exodus 20 and 18, Deuteronomy 33, Psalms chapter 68. That's breaking down the four gates of fire, earthquake, wind, and the cold. And you got to visualize too that elements are shifting amongst the people, man. Temperature probably dropped. Because when it's about to rain and thunder, you feel it, man. It get cool for a minute, that cool breeze. It could be 85 degrees, then it dropped to like 65. The elements start shifting, the angels are moving, you know? It reads, that thou mightest give the law unto the seed of Jacob and diligence unto the generation of Israel. And yet tookest thou not away from them a wicked heart, that thy law might bring forth fruit in them. For the first Adam, bearing a wicked heart, transgressed, and was overcome, and so be all they that were born of him. Thus infirmity was made permanent, and the law also in the heart of the people with the malignity of the root, so that the good departed away, and the evil abode still. You know, and the infirmity is permanent, man. You can't escape sin. You can't escape your wicked heart. Right? And the Lord told Ezra in 2 Ezra 4 and 30 says the grain of evil seed has been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning. You know? So the good in man leaves and evil stays. That's why man wax weaker and weaker. And they become more evil and evil. Verse 23. So the times passed away and the years were brought to an end. Then didst thou raise thee up a servant called David, whom thou commandest to build a city unto thy name, and to offer incense and oblations unto thee therein. When this was done many years, then they that inhabited the city forsook thee, and then all things did even as Adam, and all his generations had done, for they also had a wicked heart. And so thou gavest the city over into the hands of the enemies, right? The Babylonians, the Assyrians, the Medes, the Persians, the Greeks, the Romans. Are their deeds then any better that inhabit Babylon, that they should therefore have the dominion over Zion? It's lucky. For when I came thither and had seen impieties without number, then my soul saw many evildoers in this 13th year, so that my heart failed me. And we relate to this all the time. We brought this out in the streets, and we see impieties without number. We saw a pansexual at camp. And camp is I've never seen more confusion at camp in one location than I have in my whole life. Camp is that main spot where you'll see the most wickedness, man.
Salaki King. We seen a damn murderer, a well-known murderer at camp.
Yeah, he shot a man in the back, man, or a woman in the back, and came out a murderer, scoffing, shaking a hand, man. And brothers didn't know this guy was a murderer, man. Yeah. I mean, a cold-blooded murderer.
Yeah.
You know? And you can't tell, look, I know this brother murdered. He might not, look. So, and we deal with things, man. We deal with trannies at camp, freaks, bug outs. We see impieties without number. I mean, we can go on and on. We went to Freak Town up in Detroit, man, and that was impieties without number. That's one of the worst camps. Indianapolis, believe it or not, that's probably one of the worst places to ever teach at, man. Houston, New York. These are some of the worst places, we've been in, man. And Babylon.
We had an abortion rally, an abortion crowd come up kind of against us. You know,
Wow.
somebody stood out. I said, "What do you mean? This is our body." It was off.
I remember we taught at a pork fest in Detroit at the Unity Camp. I think that was like 2017. It was a pork fest, man. A pork fest.
Yep.
And they had all types of pork. Fat back, baby back, this back. Just pork, man. People was mixing the fat back with the scrapple, throwing a little bit of bacon bits with the pepperoni, just porking it up. Pork chops on a pork sub.
All you heard was people sucking their fingers, man.
Yeah, and scoffing.
Yeah, scoffing.
So
Fingers
Ezra
sucking and scoffing.
is right. So Ezra, he said his heart failed him, man. What does it mean your heart failed you? Meaning, you know, he started getting low, man. He damn near passed out. He was overwhelmed. It reads, "For when I have seen how thou sufferest them from sinning, and hast spared wicked doers, and hast destroyed thy people, and hast preserved thine enemies, and hast not signified it, I do not remember how this way may be left. Are they then of Babylon better than they of Zion?" See, and that it's getting to that point, man. This is why Jake loves the white man. They think that the so-called white man's chosen. He must be better than us. Look how he lives. The Lord must be dealing with him. Look at his science, his technology, his medicine, his colleges, his phones, his houses. The Lord must be, he must be better than us. That's why Eve and Jake is bleaching their skin, blonde hair, because they really believe they in Babylon are better than they of Zion.
Quick
Hey, what did the Lord say? Quick precept.
Jake, we asked Jake, who's the best basketball player? He said Larry Bird. We looked at him in disbelief.
Yeah,
he said that because he thinks Esau is better than us. Because of slavery, and his mind's been washed.
This is right, chapter 9:11. Right? Ecclesiasticus 9:11. Envy thou not the glory of a sinner, for thou knowest not what shall be his end. Why would you glory or envy a sinner? You want to be like a man who's walking to destruction? You want to follow a man who has 3 seconds left on the earth? You want to follow a woman who's going to twerk her way into an ICBM missile, man? Can't twerk on an ICBM. You know? Hey, Jake, you can't roll up on a laser, man. These things are created to destroy you. You don't know their end. The only reason Jake glories them because they think their end is fame. The walk of fame. Retiring with multi-millions of dollars. We know the end of the wicked. That's why we don't glory the sinners, because the Lord told us what's going to happen to them. The so-called white man didn't tell you what's going to happen to him, because he doesn't believe nothing's going to happen to him. We're not going to glory somebody who has an end, or envy somebody who has an end. Why would I envy somebody that can die? You know, the Lord said, "Delight not in the thing that the ungodly have pleasure in, but remember, they shall not go unpunished unto their grave." That's plain. Let's go back to second Esdras. Actually, I got one more real quick. Let's go to Psalms chapter 37. Actually, let's go to Proverbs 24. Right, this is Proverbs chapter 24. I'm gonna start at 1. Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them, for their heart studieth destruction, and their lips talk of mischief. Right, you're literally wanting to be with men who study how to destroy themselves. Suicide. Right? How many more sins can they commit to die? That's what you're dealing with, man. There's no great big book called Destruction that they open up and they study. We're studying destruction. You got your highlighter. No, that's not what it's talking about. When it says their heart studied destruction, it means you want to be with people who think about sin and committing iniquity that's going to get them put to death. That's who you want to be like. You know? So let's go back to this. And second Esdras. So no, they in Babylon are better than they of Zion, man. People don't know why the so-called white man set up. He was only set up because we went off. That's why the so-called white man is in power. He was set up because we broke the commandments. Now, ultimately, they got a blessing in Genesis 27, but it's deeper than that. They were set up to be destroyed. You know? So let's go back to that. And Ezra may have known that, you know, but sometimes when you and your, I don't want to use the word feelings, but when you emotional, you know, sometimes, you know, stuff like that may slip your mind, man. Like I said, sometimes we get weak in this thing. Ezra knew that they in Babylon wasn't better than they of Zion. He knew that, man, because he knew the law. He knew Deuteronomy 7:6, Deuteronomy 14:2, Deuteronomy 26:19. He knew about King David in 2 Samuel 7:23. He knew that we were better, but why would he say that? Because he's going through it, man. Then John the Baptist, let me get this account real quick. Right, let me get this. This Matthew chapter 14. Quick precept. This Matthew chapter 14. No, I want Matthew 11, Salakia. I'm going to get this quick precept. So yeah, plenty of times when our forefathers, you know, that there were times when they showed fleshly weakness, man. Matthew chapter 11 and verse 2. Now when John had heard in the prison the works of Hamashiach, he sent 2 of his disciples and said unto them, to him, art thou he that should come, or do we look for another? So why would John the Baptist say that? Didn't he baptize him and say, behold, the Lamb of God, which taketh away the sins of the world? Then now he's in prison. So is this him? Sometimes, you know, this flesh takes over, man. Yahushua answered and said unto him, go and show John again those things which ye do hear and see, man. Man, go boost that man's faith. Exhort that man. Right? Let him know, hey, look, I am him, man. Yahushua knew John the Baptist was about to taste death. He said, hey, encourage that brother, man. Let him know the blind receive their sight and the lame walk. The lepers are cleansed and the deaf hear. The dead are raised up and the poor have the gospel preached to them. And blessed is he whosoever shall not be offended in me. And why did he say that, man? Because the Lord knew that men would get weak, but you can't get offended at the Lord, man. You got to hold it down. The brothers got it. Go back to this. 2 Esdras chapter 3 and 28. Are there deeds then any better that inhabit Babylon, that they should therefore have the dominion over Zion? For when I came thither and seen, Salakia, did I read? I read that already, if I'm not mistaken. 31, Salakia. I do not remember how this way may be left. Are they then of Babylon better than they of Zion? Or is there any other people that knowest thee besides Israel? Or what generation hath so believed thy covenants as Jacob? And yet their reward appeareth not, and their labor hath no fruit. For I have gone here and there through the heathen, and I see that they flow in wealth, and think not upon thy commandments. And we see this every day, man. Like we said earlier. I had this one job, I used to have to clean houses, man. And the way that somebody, and this when I was a young man, I'm still a young man, when I was a younger man. When a lot, these houses that these Edomites live in, I mean, you wouldn't believe it. You really wouldn't believe it, man. And we got a brother in one of the camps. He do the driving around, do things, and he got to take things to these Edomites, and they live in mansions. I mean, they live in places that you wouldn't even imagine, man. And then you got to go back to your damn studio with a leak in the cellar. These Edomites live good, man. They live better than you think they live. And they flow in wealth. And they're not thinking about the commandments. The Lord said, weigh thou therefore our wickedness now in the balance. And there's also that dwell in the world, and so shall thy name nowhere be found but in Israel. Or when was it that they which dwell upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight? Or what people have so kept thy commandments? Thou shalt find that Israel by name hath kept thy precepts, but not the heathen. Right? Meaning we're the ones who are given the law. We're the ones given the statutes. Any penalty that comes with the transgression of the law, we were given that. We have all of the precepts, and the heathen don't, right? So this Bible is not for everybody. It's not for the white man, the Chinese man, the Arab man. We're the ones that were given the precepts. And to tell you straight up, it says, and not the heathen. You can't get around that. So how are these other nations going to make it? Let's move on. Second Ezra chapter 4 and 1. So Ezra was complaining in the bitterness of his soul, and the angel that was sent unto me, whose name was Uriel, gave me an answer. Now, this is after Ezra's complaining to the Most High, Lord, why are we going through this? Why are we in captivity? Why are they of Babylon being treated better than they of Israel? The Lord sent the angel, Uriel, who's an archangel. You got Uriel, Gabriel, Michael, Raphael. Those are your top 4 archangels. Now, Uriel in the Hebrew is Awarya Allah, which means the light of God or the light of the Most High. When there's darkness, when there's confusion and questions from the men of the Lord, Uriel is sent to break it down. And you might be complaining in the bitterness of your soul. You might look up and see Uriel right there. Right? Uriel's not coming to the man complaining that he ran out of weed. Lord, how come I can never have enough weed? And he's not coming to the guy complaining about that, man. He's only sent to the elect. So don't expect to be praying and lift up and see Uriel and you're praying for vanity. He's not going to tell you how to get that woman's number. Or freak off, man. So what did Uriel do? And said, thy heart hath gone too far into this world, and thinkest thou to comprehend the way of the Most High. You know, and certain brothers, they go too far off in the world, and they think they can figure out what the Lord has going on. You can never figure out the Most High. Then said I, yea, my Lord. He said, yeah, I think I can comprehend the way of the Most High. I think I got this thing right, figured out. And he answered me and said, I am sent to show thee 3 ways, and to set forth 3 similitudes before thee. Wherefore, if thou canst declare me one, I will show thee also the way that thou desirest to see, and I will show thee from whence the wicked heart cometh. He said, I'll show you where the wicked heart comes from if you could break down one of these 3 parables or similitudes. And I said, tell on, my Lord. Then said he unto me, go thy way, weigh me the weight of fire, or measure me the blast of the wind, or call me again the day that is past. And you can't weigh fire. Well, I believe the so-called white man tries to weigh fire. I'm sure if I type into Google, how much does fire weigh, I'll get an answer. I don't even have to look it up. Let's look it up. Let's see.
I already got it. They said, wow, Esau is wicked.
Right? How much does fire weigh? For most everyday fires, the density of the gas in the flame will be about 1 by the 4th of density of the air. So since air, so I guess he has the answers. I guess he figured it out. He got you, Uriel. No, he don't, man. The so-called white man think he has all of the answers. How much does fire weigh? The Lord said you can't do that. How do you weigh fire? It's impossible.
Literally.
It's literally impossible to weigh fire. You need it because fire has a fuel source. You can't just pick up fire and weigh it, man. So for the so-called white man to come up with this, and people believe this stuff. See, the density of the gas and the flame will be, you don't know that. Stop believing this devil. Let's go back to this. Right? It says, go thy way, weigh me the weight of the fire, or measure me the blast of the wind. And the so-called white man tries to figure that out too, man. With his barometers and air pressure. He can't measure hurricane speed, category F tornado, category 3 hurricane. He tries to measure the blast of the wind. He tries to do these things. It says, or call me again the day that is past. He has his different books to try to go back in time and recall all these dates. He tries to do these things. He's read this and taken it upon himself to put this into work. Then answered I and said, what man is able to do that thou shouldest ask such things of me? I mean, I can't do that. Why would you ask me that? But there's a reason why he asked Ezra that. And he said unto me, if I should ask thee how great dwellings are in the midst of the sea, or how many springs are in the beginning of the deep, or how many springs are above the firmament, or which are the outgoings of paradise. You see that? And you do have dwellings in the midst of the sea. You have places in the ocean and bodies of water within bodies of water and land masses in the midst of the sea. You don't know how many islands and mountains there are, man. So that's a cut for people who believe that the so-called white man figured everything out, man. You can't tell how many islands and things there are in the midst of the sea, or how many springs are in the beginning of the deep. Meaning the springs in the beginning of the deep is dealing with the water underneath that water and water underneath the earth. And it says springs above the firmament. So there's springs of water above the firmament. Right? There's water coming out above the firmament. Like a spring, like what's that? Yellowstone, like geyser. Right? You literally have springs that are above the firmament. This is what a spring is. Not this nasty water bottle. I believe that's Yellowstone, if I'm not mistaken. So this is what a spring is. It's really water, but a spring is something that shoots up. See that? The Lord said you have springs that are above the firmament. So we don't know half of what's going on, man. We think we know how the earth is and what the so-called white man told us, and everything just goes according to his science. He doesn't know half of this stuff. He can't go up there and wait. Nobody knows how much water is spewing up above the firmament, man. Let's go back. It reads, or what or which are the outgoings of paradise? Meaning you don't know the exit route of the third heaven and the entrance route to the third heaven. You don't know where Jacob's ladder is. You don't know where that so-called portal is to go up to the third heaven and come back to the earth. That's the outgoings of paradise. Peradventure, thou wouldst say unto me, I never went down in the deep. So I never went to the bottom of the ocean to see more water, nor as yet unto hell, right? To see that water under the earth. Neither did I climb up into heaven. Nevertheless, now have I asked thee, but only of the fire and wind and of the day wherethrough thou hast passed, and of things from which thou canst not be separated, and yet canst thou give me no answer of them. So the Lord is confounding Ezra and said, look, you want to find out the ways of the Most High, you can't even figure out the things that you deal with on a day-to-day basis. You can't even deal with fire and really weigh it, and it warms you. You can't deal with the wind. You can't deal with the water, and you use it to drink, but you want to figure out what the Most High is doing. So he humbled Ezra. And no man can figure out the Most High. You know? The Lord said in Job 36, let me get this precept. Right, this is Job chapter 36 and 26. Behold, the Most High is great, and we know him not. Neither can the number of his years be searched out. What does it mean we know him not? I thought we knew the Most High because we kept the commandments. No, you don't know the Most High. Meaning what? You don't know how, you don't know his years. If the Lord doesn't even, you don't know the Most High, what he's thinking, what he's doing right now. All you know is what is documented from Genesis to Revelation. Anything outside of that, I mean, it's out of your league, brother. You know? No man knows the Most High, truly. So that's what Ezra is saying, or the angel is saying, that you can't figure out these things in front of you, how much more the ways of the Most High. You know? Let me get this precept. I'm going to open up another. I want to go to Wisdom of Solomon, the 9th chapter. All right, I want to get this quick precept. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon. Because people, they'll act like they know the Most High. Right? I know what he's doing up there. I am the Most High. You have people that say, I am God. The black woman is God. You don't know the Lord, brother. If I was the Lord, I'd do this. Well, this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9 and verse 13. For what man is he that can know the counsel of God? Or who can think what the will of the Lord is? For the thoughts of mortal men are miserable, and our devices are but uncertain. Yeah, you don't even know what you want to eat, man. But you want to figure out the Most High. You don't know if you need to damn wear these shoes or wear these shoes, or is it going to rain? Is it not going to rain? You deal with carnal things in a bad level. Why would the Most High allow you to figure him out, man? Hey, look, if the Lord, I'm gonna say this: if the Lord opened up to Israel, Israel would start disrespecting the Most High more, man. Like when you open up to somebody, like your boss become friends with the co-workers, that relationship gets tainted. You know? And that mysteriousness, for lack of better terms, and that reverence goes out the window. The more you hang around people who are your superiors or who are your supervisors or whatever, y'all that honor and respect becomes clouded. You know, you getting a few drinks with the CEO, and y'all start talking about, you know, God knows what, man. So when y'all are at work and he tells you to turn in that paperwork, he's going to say, look, shut up, man. Shut up, Larry. You know, you was just getting drunk the other day. So if the Most High was to give us all of his in-depth secrets and everything, man, it'd be, man would be, what's what I'm looking for? They'll be content. And they'll go after other gods.
Hey, they'll complain why the Lord did it that way.
Well, I say this, even the world do that, man. You know, even the world, when they capture Jake and they conquer Jake or got his mind, and Jake give himself all to a woman, they don't want him no more. You know, they go on to the next guy. They don't like that guy who tells them their heart, man. Now they can say I like my man to open up to me and tell me, you know, whatever. But when a man is just telling you all his mind and he's what they say pressed, and he's just giving you all his desires, a woman, she doesn't want that, man. You know, she's moving on to the next guy, man, because she thinks you're weak. And there's power in secrecy, man. There's power in mysteriousness, man. It's a level of respect you got to pay to a guy who walks in the room, he just wears all black all the time and dark shades and a hat. He don't speak, but he might say a few things. You might want to figure out who that guy is, man. You might fear that guy because you don't know what he's unpredictable. So that's how the Most High, he has put himself and distanced himself from his creation to a certain extent. You know? So let's go back to this. It reads, for the thoughts of mortal men are miserable, and our devices are but uncertain. For the corruptible body presseth down the soul, and the earthly tabernacle weigheth down the mind that museth upon many things. So your flesh beats down your spirit, and you'll never be able to magnify your thoughts to get with the Most High. Right? And you can read the rest of this on your own. But let's go back to this second Esdras. Second Esdras chapter 4 and verse 6. It's like I want 10. Second Esdras 4 and 10. He said, moreover unto me, thine own things and such as are grown up with thee canst thou not know. How should thy vessel then be able to comprehend the way of the highest? And the world being now outwardly corrupted, to understand the corruption that is evident in thy sight. And a vessel can only obtain or contain so much of a liquid, right? So we can only obtain so much water, living water. There's stuff, if you pour it out, the vessel will break, or the vessel will bust, or the vessel will overflow, and it won't retain that water. We're not able to retain certain things. There's just certain things the Most High is not going to give us. No matter how much you fast and pray on it, you'll never figure out certain things of the Lord, man. Because you wasn't created to have that. And I'm on this laptop. This laptop can only hold so much information. It was created by the programmer to only obtain maybe like 5 gigabytes or whatever. So if you try to put 6 gigabytes in, it's not going to work. It's not created to hold on to that information. And you could try all day, but it just won't work.
Yeah.
And there are certain things that you're just not going to understand, that the Most High just will not give you. You can't pour 2 cups into a 1 cup beaker, man. And that 1 cup beaker holds 1 cup, and it was created to hold 1 cup. If it was created to hold 2 cups, it would have been 2 cups. You can understand. So that's why the Lord told Ezra, hey, look, you're in a vessel that cannot hold water, man. You can't hold this living water from the Most High. It says, and the world being now outwardly corrupted, to understand the corruption that is evident in my sight. Then said I unto him, it were better that we were not at all, than that we should live still in wickedness and to suffer and not know wherefore. So he said, look, I'd rather die than not know why we go off and why we sin. What's the point? He answered me and said, I went into a forest, into a plain, and the trees took counsel and said, come, let us go and make war against the sea, that it may depart away before us, and that we may make more woods. The floods of the sea also, and like manner took counsel and said, come, let us go up and subdue the woods of the plain, that there also we may make us another country. Right? And this is just a parable, right? To make a point. The water wasn't actually huddled up and talking. Right? And all of the trees then, it wasn't like Lord of the Rings. They all walked up and said, oh, and they start talking ancient old man white talk. Huh? It's just a parable. The thought of the wood was in vain, for the fire came and consumed it. The thought of the floods of the sea came likewise to naught, for the sand stood up and stopped them. If thou wert judged now betwixt the two, whom wouldest thou begin to justify, and whom wouldest thou condemn? So the angel said, well, look, would you be on the tree side or the water side? And both the trees wanted more than they were given, and the water wanted more than they were given. I answered and said, verily, it is a foolish thought that they both have devised. For the ground is given into the wood, and the sea also hath its place to bear its floods. So everybody has their own lot. You know, the trees can never grow and go into the ocean. Ants can never be a lion. A lion can never grow spots like a jaguar. Everything was created and it's for its particular purpose. You know, and to stay in its respective realm. Just like man, you was created to only understand what's on this earth, man. You wasn't created to understand the works of the Most High. Right? I mean, it is what it is. Everything was created and designed. A dog will never understand the nature of a lion, man. You can put the little thing on it, dress it up like a lion. He will never be a lion. He was given the ability to be a dog. And they can't, what's the word I'm looking for? They can't cross paths, man, for lack of better terms. Like the Lord told Lazarus, or told the rich man, there's a great gulf between you and Lazarus. And you can't go to his side, he can't go to your side. No matter what. No matter what you do, you cannot escape the lot that you have. And no matter what Lazarus do, he can't bring you to his side and he can't come to you. And there's a great gulf between the earth and heaven, man. So let's read on. Then answered he me and said, thou hast given a right judgment, but why judgest thou not thyself also? For like as the ground is given into the wood, and the sea to its floods, even so they that dwell upon the earth may understand nothing but that which is upon the earth. And he that dwelleth above the heavens may only understand the things that are above the heights of the heavens. That's plain. Then answered I and said, I beseech thee, O Lord, let me have understanding. For it was not my mind to be curious of the high things, but of such as pass by us daily. Namely, wherefore Israel is given up as a reproach to the heathen, and for what cause the people whom thou hast loved is given over unto the ungodly nations. And while the law of our forefathers is brought to naught, and written covenants come to none effect. So he wants to know the condition of his people, like we all do. And there's nothing wrong with this, right? We're concerned about the things that pass by us daily too. And we pass away out of the world as grasshoppers, and our life is astonishment and fear, and we are not worthy to obtain mercy. What will he then do unto his name, whereby we are called? Of these things have I asked. Then answered he me and said, the more thou searchest, the more thou shalt marvel, for the world hasteth fast to pass away. And that's how it is in this truth, man. The more you search, the more you'll marvel. The more you dig deep in his word, the more you'll find. You understand? The more you read, the more the Spirit will sup with you. The more you pray, the more virtue you will have. The more you fast, the more demons will leave you. The more you search in this truth, the more you'll find. And you'll begin to marvel and know things that you'll never know, man. Right? Like the Lord said in Jeremiah. Right? This is Jeremiah chapter 33 and 2. Thus said the Lord, the maker thereof, the Lord that formed it to establish it, the Lord is his name. Call unto me, and I will answer thee, and show thee great and mighty things which thou knowest not. So if you call to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, he's going to answer you and show you things that you never knew, man. And the more we read, the more we get more understanding. We can't explain everything to you. You got to open up this book and read and search for yourself, right? And you'll notice the Spirit begin to sup with you and may show you a precept or link this up with this book or show you something in Maccabees that link up with the book of Daniel, and you'll put this whole thing together. And the Lord will show you great and mighty things that you never knew before, man. Let's go back to this. 2nd Esdras chapter 4 and 27. And cannot comprehend the things that are promised to the righteous in the time to come. For this world is full of unrighteousness and infirmities. But as concerning the things whereof thou askest me, I will tell thee, for the evil is sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come. If therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good. So evil has to be taken out in order for good to be established. Right? You have to learn wickedness and really to appreciate righteousness. If you're automatically always righteous, you never knew about evil and sin, what profit does your righteousness give you? Because you don't even understand the value of righteousness if you don't know what evil is. So you have to overcome that evil seed to the Lord to plant that right seed in the laws in your inward parts. He's going to take away that evil seed inside of you and put that righteous seed inside of you in order to be righteous automatically. Verse 30. For the grain of evil seed hath been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning. And how much ungodliness had it brought up unto this time, and how much shall it yet bring forth until the time of threshing come? So the Lord programmed Adam to go off. He downloaded that into his software, for lack of better terms. He was programmed to go off, if you get it. There's nothing you can do about it. A lot of people, he shouldn't have ate the apple. First of all, there was no apple. Well, how come he listened to his woman? Well, the Lord made him do it. He damn put a sin inside of Adam. And Adam was automatically going to go off. And guess what? That same seed we have inside of us, but that seed grew over time to a damn tree stump and to a damn boughs and then branches, then twigs, then leaves, then fruit. So if that evil seed started as a small seed, what do you think, what do you think we're dealing with now, man? When you go off, that's because you're a byproduct of that seed. All the wicked fruit that you bring, like Yahushua said, get this up in Matthew the 3rd chapter. Right? This ain't Matthew chapter 3 and 10. And now also the axe is laid into the root of the trees. Therefore, every tree which bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. See that? So you have to bear good fruit with the seed of the Most High planted in you. And everybody else who bears evil fruit, that's from the seed of evil that was sown in the heart of Adam. So if you're bringing forth evil fruit, it's because of that evil nature inside of you that you wasn't able to overcome through faith and through mercy. But if you bring forth righteous fruit, that shows that righteous seed is being planted in you, which is more powerful than that evil seed. Ponder now by thyself how great fruit of wickedness the grain of evil seed hath brought forth. Yeah, you got child molesters, pedophiles, creeps, murderers, incest, bestiality. Look how great fruit of wickedness all came from Adam going off. Sex robots, ecosexuals. Damn. God knows what else, man, is going on in darkness. Human sacrifices, drinking the baby blood, feast of blood, secret ceremonies, illuministic rituals, organ trafficking on the black market, sex trafficking. That's all the great fruit of wickedness, man. Adam didn't have to deal with pedophiles and sex traffickers and then sex bots. He had a primitive sin. This is a more, it's like an alternative, more of iniquity. Verse 32. And when the ears shall be cut down, which are without number, how great a floor shall they fill? Then I answered and said, how and when shall these things come to pass? Wherefore are our years few and evil? So Jacob He said, few and evil have been my days. Esdras said, wherefore are our years few and evil? And he answered me, saying, do not thou hasten above the most highest, for thy haste is vain to be above him, for thou hast much exceeded. I mean, you're doing too much, you're going off. Right? Stay in your lane. Did not the souls also of the righteous ask question of these things in their chambers, saying, how long shall I hope on this fashion, when cometh the fruit of the floor of our reward? So the complaints that Ezra has on the earth, those same complaints these men are having in the heavens. The souls of the righteous are in their own chambers. A chamber is a room, right? So they have a select place in the third heaven where these men complain and they appear before the Most High about what was done to them on the earth. They have their own select chamber, right? That's Revelation. Let's prove that. Let's go to real quick to Revelation, the 6th chapter. Right? This is it's like you bear with me. Right? This Revelation chapter 6 and verse 9. And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of the Most High, and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? So these are men who died that are up there in the third heaven complaining to the Heavenly Father about injustice and crimes committed to them on the earth. Ezra's complaining. These spirits are complaining. And the angel said, look, these things happen all the time. The souls of the righteous, they ask questions too. Why was I killed? I was in my car and that wicked police officer shot me in the back of the head. What did I do? I was a baby, Lord, and I got hit by a stray bullet. What did I do? I was prophesying, shaking the hand, teaching the gospel, and they beheaded me, Lord. They put me in the brazen bull. They crucified me. Why are these things happening to me, Lord? I thought you told me that you'll be with me. So these questions come before the Lord, man. You know? So these things that you deal with on the earth is happening up there in the third heaven every day. Let's get that. Let me get one more on that real quick. Let's go to Job chapter 23. Right? This is Job chapter 23 and 1. Then Job answered and said, even today is my complaint bitter. My stroke is heavier than my groaning. Oh, that I knew where I might find him, that I might come even to his seat. So Job said, look, I want to know where the Lord is, man. Where is the judge at? Don't Jake say that when they locked up? They haven't done anything wrong. Where is the judge at? Where is the lawyer? I got to tell them my side of the story. They're lying on me. It wasn't me. You know? That's what Jake is doing right now, man. I mean, you know how many brothers are exonerated after 40 years of jail time over a crime that they never committed? They got videos on it every day. Brothers coming out of prison for doing 35 years over a crime they never committed. You don't think these men were in a jail cell trying to get one more opportunity to plead their cause to the judge and ask why were they locked up and why they're doing a life sentence that they don't deserve? These are the things that man deals with, the righteous. Lord, why are we in captivity? I didn't go off. I wasn't there. Why do I have to do this? Why are we in bondage? What did we do? So these are the complaints. And it's okay to come for a righteous complaint. Not a what's the word I'm looking for? An emotional complaint, man. You know, it's all right to be upset. It's okay to complain in the bitterness of your soul. right? But it's not all right to damn be emotional and lack discernment and don't know judgment. It has to be done and sincere in the spirit, right? So let's go back to this in Second Esdras chapter 4 and 35. Did not the souls of the righteous ask questions of these things in their chambers, saying, how long shall I hope on this fashion? When cometh the fruit of the floor of our reward? And unto these things Uriel the archangel gave them answer and said, even when the number of the seeds is filled in you, for he hath weighed the world in the balance. By measure hath he measured the times, and by number hath he numbered the times, and he doth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. So Uriel answered those men. When those men are complaining up there in the third heaven about what's happening to them, Uriel gives the answer, right? And says everything's done according to the time of the Most High. Then answered I and said, O Lord that bears rule, even we all are full of impiety, meaning we all go off. And for our sakes, peradventure, it is that the floors of the righteous are not filled, because of the sins of them that dwell upon the earth. So he answered me and said, go thy way to a woman with child, and ask of her, when she hath fulfilled her 9 months, if her womb may keep the birth any longer within her. Then said I, no, Lord, that she cannot. And he said unto me, in the grave, the chambers of the souls are like the womb of a woman. Right? Meaning, when it's time for you to go up to the spirit world, it's time. When it's time for you to be sent back on the earth in your respective generation, it's time. But like as a woman that travaileth maketh haste to escape the necessity of the travail, even so do these places haste to deliver those things that are committed unto them. From the beginning look what thou desirest to see, and it shall be showed thee. Then answered I and said, if I have found favor in thy sight, and if it be possible, and if I be meet therefore, show me whether there be more to come than is past, or more past than is to come. What is past, I know, but what is to come, I know not. So Esdras was asking about what's going to happen in the future. I know about the ancient times. I know about Moses and Joshua, and I know these things, but what about what's going to happen in the future? And he said unto me, stand up upon the right side, and I shall expound the similitude unto you. So I stood and saw, and behold, a hot burning oven passed by before me, and it happened that when the flame was going by, I looked, and behold, the smoke remained still. So you had this big fire went by, and the residue was the smoke. And after this passed by before me a watery cloud, and sent down much rain with the storm, but when the storm rain was past, the drops remained still. Then said he unto me, consider with thyself, as the rain is more than the drops, and as the fire is greater than the smoke. But the drops and the smoke remain behind, so the quantity which is past did more exceed. Meaning, Ezra, you're that much closer to the last days, right? For people, for judgments, for time. The quantity of the past did much more exceed, man. You're in the time of the drops, not the rain. You're in the time of the smoke and not that great fire, right? You're in the last days, right? You're approaching the end of this thing. You're approaching the time when Yahweh Shah is about to return. We don't have 3,000 more years to go, or 5,000 more years, man. That's plain. The quantity which is past did more exceed. So you're closer to the end than you are towards the beginning. Then I prayed and said, may I live, thinkest thou, until that time? Or what shall happen in those days? He answered me and said, as for the tokens whereof thou askest me, I may tell of them in part, but as touching thy life, I am not sent to show thee, for I do not know it. So he said, I can show you about the end of the world in part. I may not show you everything, because certain things weren't given to Ezra. Certain things were given to John the Revelator. Certain things were given to men that came after him. So Ezra saw the end of the world in part. And he wanted to know if he was going to be alive. The angel said, I don't know if you're going to be alive in that time. right? I don't know how long you're going to be. I don't know how long you were created to live. I was only sent to give you these things, man. You know, that's what the angel told him. But with that, that's second Esdras. It's like your chapter 4. And we could bring out some closing precepts.
This is Luke 7:23.
And that's a beautiful chapter right there. That's a very mighty chapter.
This is Luke 7:23. And blessed is he whosoever shall not be offended in me. And as I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, all the things that are brought out through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, if you find any offense in it, then you're not going to be blessed. If this particular chapter, verse, breakdown offends you in the slightest, then you're not going to be blessed.
Right.
Even the verses that weren't brought out. Things that you may struggle with or you just deny. For an example, a woman that doesn't want to wear dresses, skirts, modest apparel. That's spoken of in 1 Timothy and in Leviticus. Right? You're not blessed then. You can say that's mean and that's rude. Luke 7:23 is plain as day. For those brothers who may want to break the Sabbath, have sex on the Sabbath, say it's permissible to smoke weed, you're not blessed. That's not to say I'm going to be blessed. You know, I don't know my lot. But if the words are plain in black and white, and it's plain upon the tables as written in Habakkuk 2:2, you know, you do contrary, then we definitely know, according to thus said the Lord, you're not going to be blessed.
You cannot get offended at these breakdowns, the prophecies, the judgments. All right, let's go to Revelation chapter 22 and 12. Right, this Revelation chapter 22 and 12. It reads, and behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. So the Lord is watching you right now. I mean, he's watching you. And if you're slothful, lukewarm, lazy, you're going to be cut down. Tonight's the night to change and get right with the Most High and repent. Put off that old man and let go of those heavy fetters and manacles keeping you back from running this race, man. At full top speed. We in overdrive mode, man. No days off, no excuses. Right? So stay diligent, stay fervent. We're going to wrap up. I will take questions like we always do every week. Right? Brothers could call in. You know, the number is 213-603-9096. And that PIN number is 94809-305. So again, that's 213-603-9096. And that PIN number is 94809-305. Most High willing, you are edified. And the day of Simon is coming up right around the corner. Right? The day of Simon is May 22nd. May 22nd is the day of Simon. June 4th is the Pentecost. Right? We got groundbreaking camps. We're doing a groundbreaking in Virginia. Right? We're doing a groundbreaking in Virginia June 10th. So if you're in that area, we'll send out the flyers and everything, but we'll be in VA June 10th for the groundbreaking. And 2 weeks from June 10th, we'll be in Greensboro, North Carolina, doing the WFI Greensboro. We got WFI Trinidad on the up and coming. If you out in Trinidad, go out and labor with those brothers, do the work of the Most High. If you out there in Scotland, Germany, the Netherlands, right? Canada, you understand? LA, New York, we have brothers all over the world, man. So get up, do the work, link up with these brothers, sisters, link up with sisters, and learn how to be righteous wives, daughters, mothers. Brothers learn how to be righteous men, fathers, brothers, prophets, kings. And see Brother Amos on this thing, man. June 4th at sundown, May 21st at sundown. And keep these days holy, man. Keep these days holy. Get into the day of Simon, get into these feast days, and love the Lord fervently in the last days. Right? But with that, we're going to close up, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Kwam Yashala. Shalom.